Amy Adams takes on motherhood in Nightbitch. It had a limited run in theaters, but it's now available to stream on Hulu within the US. So should it be on your list? A woman pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom, but soon her domesticity takes a surreal turn. In addition to Amy Adams, this also stars Jessica Harper, Zoe Chow, Mary Holland, Archana Rahan, and Scoot McNairy. Adams and McNairy both go without character names in this, only referred to as mother and husband respectively. Now, Mother was an artist who has now been a stay-at-home mom to their son, who looks to be about 3-ish. In very quick succession, we are shown the monotony of Mother's Day. She gets up, cooks breakfast, feeds the kid, eats a bit herself, then they do stuff around the house, maybe eat a bit more, play and do art, go to the park, eat some more, then attempt to get some sleep. Good gravy, this kid never seems to tire because he is always up. I mean, it's crazy making for sure. But the editing in this, that is what is superb to put us within Mother's mindset. While we see a lot of the actions take a bit of time the first go round, the edits then are lightning quick, showcasing how several days can pass just by in a blink, each of them being nearly identical. And I love how this instantly gets us ready for the tiredness that Mother experiences. And it's not just a physical tiredness, but certainly a mental one as well. And there are a few darkly hilarious scenes that show us just how on the edge Mother's nerves are when she's like at a baby book club, at the library, or maybe when she's at the park with the kid. The expressions, even dialogue that spews, it is both unexpected, but also very relatable for anybody that's ever had to have been a parent or even had to spend an exorbitant amount of time with a kid who's very young. Adams is kind of fearless within this. She shows off portions of her body, but it isn't tight and toned like some supermodel mom. She still retains her beauty, and the scenes that show us the portions of her, they're not done for voyeuristic effect or even anything objectifying her. It's just to show us the changes that she feels she's undergoing. And that's where the title of the film comes in. Mother feels as though she is beginning to transform into a dog at night, hence the name. She discovers tufts of hair, has other dogs drawn to her, even goes digging in the yard in the middle of the night. Now, the thing I love about this area of the story is that I was never 100% sure if she was actually going through the transformation or this was something symbolic as she works to regain her drive and power that she feels she gave up or maybe lost when she began to stay at home. I mean, I don't think this is some preachy movie about women needing to be in the workplace or condemning moms who stay at home. It's not even about hating on men. It's focusing on Mother's desire to get back what she once had, something that may have not been fully understood what was at stake when that decision was made. Now, this is a powerful illustration, especially as we watch Mother gain more confidence in herself and then come back around to what made her who she was. And despite the dark humor that's scattered throughout the story, there's also quite a bit of melancholy as we see Mother just spiraling down into despair. Her life, it's overwhelming, which Adams then conveys perfectly. And then the reclaiming of her power and self, it's tough to watch also, even though it is equally as inspiring. Now, there's a scene where Mother is at dinner with some friends from college, and they're all artists too. If you could picture the most pretentious, highfalutin, self-absorbed, grotesquely pompous people imaginable, this is who was sitting around the table with Mother. They are all wildly into themselves, while also competing with each other on who can feel more impressive with their accomplishments. I mean, it's both an uncomfortable scene as well as one that made me laugh nervously. Mother begins to see how invisible she's become within this group that she was once fully a part of. And because she is invisible, she then says and does things that are absurd. But they work also to show her growth as one of the initial steps of taking back control within her life. There are other moments Adams shares with Zoe Chow, Mary Holland, and Archana Rahan that are again uncomfortable and even cringy, but then become this sweet camaraderie. Adams confesses something that obviously causes shock, to which more dialogue is shared between the four, and it's wild. The dialogue that comes through this scene is uplifting, and it works to show how Mother can have friends while also being a mom, never losing either identity, and she then builds from there. Scoot McNairy has a relatively small role in this, but similarly to the college friends, he can be very aggravating due to his disconnectedness to both his wife and their child. I mean, we're not told what he does for a living, but it involves him traveling the majority of the week, leaving Mother to be a single parent. And when he arrives home, husband is useless, not even being able to be titled father because he has zero clue as to how to take care of their kid. He becomes a second child for Mother, further showing how she's relegated further and further into a caretaker without identity or purpose outside of that particular role. And despite having a tiny role, McNary does create visceral reactions to his performance, which I thought really works. Now, going back to Adams believing that she is transforming into a dog, there is a scene that gives us some CGI. It's not bad. The transformation, it's creatively executed, and aside from the dog looking just a little bit too fake when the tail and the hind end change, the graphics, they're used sparingly, so they don't cause any sort of distraction. Now, there are also some dead animal carcasses that are shown, so if you are sensitive to that, you just should be aware. Now, the story feels surprisingly short, which, I mean, it is at only 99 minutes, but given how many repetitive sequences we watch to showcase the daily tedium, you might think that the pacing is dragged down. Thankfully, though, it's not. The balance of tension, melancholy, and humor, they all work to progress the plot efficiently. So what begins as a seemingly deep dive into depressive madness ends up being a powerful story of self-reclamation, with Amy Adams delivering a haunted and moving portrayal of strength and resolve. The dark humor is biting with the sting of truth while tackling traditional ideas of what a mother must be, and it can work as both catharsis for some and a learning experience for others. There's sex, no nudity, a bunch of profanity, and just a little bit of violence. I give Nightbitch 4 out of 5 couches. So have you seen any good dark comedies lately? I would love to hear about what you watched in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.